This Rob on the Road is sponsored by the Sacramento Metropolitan Arts Commission. Coming up next on Rob on the Road, more amazing artists.
So good.
I can't believe you're here on Rob on the Road.
Five-time Grammy winner Sandy Patty shares her heart and her high notes like never before. Plus, blending the layered worlds of art and therapy.
I have a release of feelings, and it's the most calm I ever feel when I'm painting.
We'll explore the artist studio of Sacramento's John Crimple. And later,
I'm hoping to make sure that she gets her note in history and that her artwork lives on in good collection.
Well, it's in good hands.
hear the legacy of amazing artist Loreen Landau. Plus, art around town, the story behind some of Sacramento's most well-known art displays. Rob on the Road, more amazing artists starts now.
And now, Rob on the Road, exploring Northern California.
So we are backstage at Power Balance Pavilion in Sacramento with legendary singer Sandy Patty.
Does that mean old?
No,
Okay.
it doesn't. It doesn't. It just means awesome.
Oh, it's so good to be with you.
It's so good to be with you too, Sandy.
We were kind of running around this afternoon.
We were.
Helping me do some errands. And I love because like people came up to you and go, aren't you Rob from On the Road with Rob?
Well, if anyone's used to
Rob
that,
on the
it's
road.
you. You have 5 Grammys, you've sold more than 11 million albums. You have accolades that top anyone in your industry.
You're very kind.
Well, you know, there are more than 10,000 people on their way to this arena right now to see you. What is your message to them?
Well, this weekend here, you know, as we sit and kind of wait for this big Women of Faith weekend,
Where you have a lot of fun.
well, I do have a lot of fun. You know, there's nothing better than a group of women out of the house for the weekend. Seriously.
Not a bad gig, Sandy.
You were telling me backstage, how long has it been since you've worn a dress?
Last time, 1902. They still had corsets.
Well, you look sassy there, girl. You look
Thank you.
sassy. It was a big step into a new beginning for me. What edge are you on today? Where do you find yourself on the brink of disaster? Perhaps, just perhaps, instead of falling off the edge into disappointment and into despair, perhaps we can fall into something divine. I'm looking over.
A lot is just from my own personal journey, and hopefully that will, you know, connect with somebody.
It does connect. You see it in the people's faces as they're watching you sing. They light up. I can tell that they just connect so much with you. You know, you talked about stepping to the edge of the divine, and that is your current project. You also talked about dreams, and another current project is a dream of yours.
Yes. it
Broadway
is.
Stories.
Broadway Stories.
I listened to it after you gave it to me today.
You did.
The whole thing. It is unbelievable.
Well, thank you. Those great songs of Broadway. And so finally this dream really has come to fruition in Broadway Stories, because I'm always big about stories.
That's been important to you
It really,
your entire career.
You know, it's not just about the song, it's about the story the song tells. It's about the story that happens before the song, which is really pertinent when you talk about Broadway songs, because there's a moment in all the shows, you know, where these songs show up, and the story and the context is so important. So that's why Broadway Stories seem to be a perfect title, and I'm very excited about it, really.
All I trust, I give my heart to. All I trust becomes my own.
You recorded this project in Prague, and you were at Carnegie Hall last Christmas.
Yes.
How was that?
It was just one of those, I remember walking on stage at Carnegie, and I walked out onto the edge of that stage. So back to the whole story thing, there's just a lot of stories that happened before stepping onto the Carnegie stage.
Isn't it rich? Are we a pair?
Music has kind of been a way of expressing first where I'm at in my own journey, but then hopefully that the lyrics of the song or a story that I may share might tap into where somebody else is, to just encourage them to know they're not alone on this journey, and that somebody else shares the pain and the joy. And sometimes when we just know we're not by ourselves, it just makes the journey a little bit more tolerable.
It's all in how you choose to see it, right? But new beginnings are, you know, change, like Patsy talked about. Change can be good, even though it doesn't.
What makes you happy today?
What makes me happy today?
You've got 8 kids.
I am in a really happy place right now, and I like my life.
And you've lost 80 pounds.
I have.
You look fantastic.
Thank you. I feel good. You know, I do. I felt good on the inside for a number of years now. And I think I was just to the point where I was ready for the outside to reflect what was going on the inside. I feel like I'm more connected with life and emotions than I have ever been. And it has not been an easy journey to get here, but it is a journey that has been very, very worthwhile.
Welcome to the artist studio of John Crimple in Sacramento. Good to see you, John.
Hi, Rob. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too. And we are surrounded by beautiful art. You are well known for your style. Tell me about it.
My style mostly is abstract, very thick with paint and texture and color, very emotional, very many layers, kind of break through some of the layers to get into the depth of the painting. I create that by using a lot of different unconventional ways of mixing paints, whether it's water-based paints with oil-based paints, and they get clumpy, and that way they create texture and cracking, and I can sometimes pull them apart then as they're drying. Use sanding and all kinds of techniques to create that. You mentioned something that I want to go right to, and that is you said that they're emotional. You were a psychologist, correct? Yes. Psychotherapist? Psychotherapist. And you changed careers? Yes. Tell me about that. After so many years of dealing with people's emotions, it got somewhat tiresome. And I had been into the art scene for many years. Just couldn't really pursue it. Somebody had seen a piece of my art and asked if I would put an art show together. And that was about 9 years ago. And I wasn't quite sure if I could do it by myself. I had never done anything like that. So I got a group of people together and started a little group called Temporary Artist Group. And we put an art show together. And ever since then, that was in 2003, it has just taken, my art's just taken off. I've done something like 90 shows so far. My goodness.
Your pieces of art are all over the city. They hang in office buildings and in homes all across Northern California as well. What does it make you feel when you see your art hanging in someone's home or office?
It's very surreal and somewhat humbling. To me, my pieces of art are very personal, and they have a lot of my feelings into it. And so to put kind of my heart and my feelings out there for people to look at and critique, it can be very, very difficult sometimes.
So as a psychologist and now as an artist, do you see sort of a mix, so to speak, with the platform? You know, do you pour your emotions into your work?
Absolutely. As a way of expressing my emotions, my feelings, especially with color and texture.
I want to talk to you more about the emotional connection with you, because art is emotional, whether you're creating it or whether you're looking at it. Mm-hmm. You have the benefit of being able to bring your psychology into your artistic expression.
Yes.
Talk to me about that.
When I start a painting, I have an idea in my head what I want to portray. The thing that I am most interested in is how I'm going to construct that painting to get that feeling across. I usually want lots of texture.
Layers.
Layers, lots of layers.
Which relates to emotions.
Yeah, and the colors too. Very hot colors, very warm colors. And a lot of my moods end up in my paintings too.
Really?
Yeah.
When you paint, do you get lost in your work?
Absolutely. I have a release of feelings, and it's the most calm I ever feel when I'm painting.
I can tell that your art, as I look around your studio, and art is everywhere, not in just your studio, but in your home, that art really is something to your soul.
It really is. Most of my home is filled with other people's art. I love to study it because I know what it took for them to get that piece to that point. Time, energy, effort, thought, emotion, feeling.
I love to ask artists of any realm this question because you're typically doing your craft for someone else. But does it move you too when you look at your work?
Most of the time it does. Sometimes it doesn't, and if it doesn't move me, then it gets put in a pile of paintings that sit there for a couple years, and I pull them out and work on them again. Then I have a totally different perspective with what they're about. I no longer remember the feelings or anything I had at that time or what I put into it, so it's almost like starting over.
That's really cool that your work has to matter to you.
Well, I call those pieces blanks, even though they're not blanks. They're actually pieces of art that have been worked on. But then I started as a blank, but it's really not a blank because it already has texture on it, already has colors on it, and I just start over from there.
I also want to ask you, are you self-taught?
I am self-taught somewhat. I have a master's degree. I had taken some art classes in college, but most of my art is all from inside here.
And inside there.
And inside here. Mm-hmm. But it's mostly self-taught, yes. I'll know when it's finished. I'll know when I'm there, when I'm at that point.
It's almost like processing emotions.
Right, absolutely.
You know when you get there and you know when it's done.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I can start off a day in a really bad mood, and by the time I'm done at the end of the day working on some paintings, I'm in the best, most calm place that I could possibly be. It's better than therapy.
And that's coming from a therapist.
Yeah.
Well, John, thank you so much. It is such a pleasure to meet you. I was fascinated with your story, blending psychology and art, because they really are the perfect fit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to see you. Thanks for letting us in your studio.
Absolutely.
Here in Sacramento with artist John Crimple.
We found a very special and interesting art story for you today. We are in the artist studio in Land Park in Sacramento of artist Loreen Landau, and this entire studio is now in the care of curator Dee Neath. Good to see you, Dee.
Good to see you, Rob.
Always nice to be with you. And you inherited this entire studio and the entire body of work from Loreen, who passed away a couple of years ago.
Yes, I did.
Tell me about that.
Loreen wanted her artwork taken care of, and I'd been her art dealer since I was about 19. And she was very concerned that it remain as a collection, and as it's dispersed, make it into good collections and be given to good universities and museums, and she put me in charge of that.
So in death, she wanted her art to continue to live.
Yeah, she was very concerned about her legacy. She had no children, and there are no more living relatives, so it was very important for Loreen's art to kind of live on for her.
There are pieces all across the studio, and I really love her style. How would you describe it?
She's definitely comes out of the Bay Area figurative movement. She went to the College of Arts and Crafts in Oakland and studied with Thibault and people like that, and then went on to teach for 30 years. Speaking
of Thibault, I was plundering around in here, and I found this really cool sketchbook. It says L. Landau, 1965, New York, Paris, Wayne Thibault.
Yeah, she went to Paris and New York with Wayne, and Wayne took like 4 or 5 students with him. And so it's all the different museums they visited, little studies. There's notes in there about places they've gone and things like that. It's part of what's really interesting about the studio.
It's so personal.
Yeah, it's very personal.
And I also see above us, was that her smock?
Yeah, that was Reen's smock. It's one of the, I did not take it down. I take it down and shoo the spiders out of it every once in a while. But that's where she hung it, so that's where I leave it.
Are these her paintbrushes?
Those are all of her paintbrushes, yes. There were quite a few. I left them as is. That's where she used to work. She had a little TV that she would keep up on KVIE because she was very fond of some of our programming.
Really?
Yeah, she was quite the opera nut. So that's primarily what she would listen to and watch while she was working on her artwork. And she spent probably more time out here than she did in the house.
Do you miss her?
I miss her a lot. Yes, I do. Especially when I'm out here.
I see the necklace you're wearing, and I see all the colors around the studio, and they match.
Yes. Reen used to make these when she would make a piece. Yes. She would do a piece and she was unhappy with it. So she would cut it into little tiny pieces, roll it and shellac it. Her students used to call them her macaroni necklaces. And she always wore them to openings. You always saw her with one. And I have quite a few of them in every color in the world.
How interesting. It blows my mind that she wouldn't be happy with some of her work.
Yeah.
So if you could say something for Loreen, what would you say?
I would say that she's an important part of California art history. And recently, women have not gone through the struggles they went through when she, in the 70s, became a professor. And I'm hoping to make sure that she gets her note in history and that her artwork lives on in good collections.
Well, it's in good hands.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dee. Such a pleasure to see you and to always be with you here.
Good to see you, too.
On Rob on the Road. We're taking you inside the new Terminal B at the Sacramento International Airport, home to the largest public art project in the history of Sacramento County. And we're here with Shelley Willis, who is the Director of Art and Public Places in Sacramento. Good to see you, Shelley.
Nice to see you too. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And look what's behind you. It is huge. The rabbit, the flying rabbit. Tell me about this.
Isn't it amazing? Well, it's made by an artist from Denver, Colorado. His name is Lawrence Argent. Its title is Leap. It's 56 feet long.
Wow.
It's instantly become this iconic feature of the airport and a real destination for people. They instantly know where they're at, you know.
Well, there's a lot here to see. As we said, there's 12 different pieces, a huge display. So you want to take me on a tour?
Yes, of course. It would
Let's
be
go.
my pleasure. The The piece is by Christian Moeller, and it's titled The Baggage Handlers.
What is it?
This piece is called Migration. Look at the bird. Do you see his skeleton?
Oh, yes.
Yes. So if you notice from the back to the front, it's as if the birds have gone through an X-ray machine.
Oh, cool.
Right.
It looks like a tree filled with lights hanging from the ceiling.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
For the Tree City?
This is the city of trees.
You wanted to talk, Shelley, about something underneath us.
Yes, that's right. This is actually a floor. It's made by Sacramento artist Joan Moment.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a mosaic and it's glass, and you'll notice that much of it is hand cut.
Well, I'll tell you, the artwork is spectacular here. And you know, I feel like the whole terminal really is a piece of art. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Very educational. Thank you so much, Shelley.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
We're taking you downtown Sacramento to Spanglish Arte to meet a woman whose passion is about combining cultures and celebrating local art. We're here with Maddy Arriola. Good to see you, Maddy.
Good to see you, Rob. Thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, what a pleasure. And I wanted to do this story because I'm so drawn at your passion for culture. Explain that to me, and combining cultures.
Exactly. Well, we actually started Spanglish Arte. We're an art gallery, boutique, and gathering space, and we actually like to celebrate the art that comes from the fusion of the cultures and the idea that we don't have to choose between languages, music, or anything else that expresses who we are and our experience here in the United States.
So you talk about fusion and combining the arts, and you say that you don't have to identify yourself with one culture or the other.
Exactly, exactly. And that comes from the idea that, you know, now with the information age, you see all these youth and they're so free, and you see the fact that they don't have to choose between claiming, you know, whether they're black or white or Latino. It's just the fact that we celebrate who we are. You know, it's not a black thing or a white thing, it's a people thing.
It's people.
Exactly, and that's what it's about. And it's the art that comes from the people's experience, especially local artists here.
Why are you so passionate about art?
Because art is really what saved me at a point in time in my life when I just felt like so many things in the world which weren't reflecting my experience. And once I found art, and art that really celebrated the fusion of the cultures, it gave me the self-confidence to really be who I am. And I think that's the experience that we want to reflect when people come here.
You just said art saved you.
Yes.
That's really powerful.
It is. You know, we have different artists that show here on a monthly basis, and there's one artist, Daniel Scherl, and his mother, Blanca Trianon Scherl. I will quote her. She said, when I exposed my son to art, I didn't expect him to become an artist, but I did expect him to enjoy life more. And that's what I want to instill in the people of Sacramento and Northern California. The fact that we don't have to be artists. Once we're exposed to any type of art, whether it be music or visual art, that we are able to celebrate who we are and just honor that.
We want you to meet the Mural Makers, two Sacramento artists on a mural mission. How fun to be here in front of this beautiful mural that you and your business partner created. Tell me about it.
Well, this is a mural that we did for Capital Area Development Authority. And what we really wanted to achieve with this is to show the downtown Sacramento grid really coming to life in a really graphic way.
What I love about your mission here is that you really want to have an impact on the community. Tell me about that.
Well, we really believe in the power of art and the ability for art to really kind of express really unique, beautiful qualities about an area. And so whenever we approach a mural, we try and capture all of those things about an area and express it to the people.
What does it mean to you to be a mural maker?
What I love about muraling is that it brings art out into the community as opposed to just kind of working in your studio, being kind of more isolated. You get to bring these ideas and concepts and all this life and color out into the world where everyone can see it.
It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, what language you speak even, you can still get that message.
I feel that it's just a really great way for me to be able to kind of express myself and express my ideas, and it's a good tool that I can use to give something to the community.
I love anything that leaves a permanent stamp of good.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah, well, I hope so. That's what we were trying to go for.
Well, good job, Sophia. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Good to be with you here today
pleasure.
on the corner of S and 7th in Sacramento.
To order a DVD copy of this program, call 888-814-3923 or visit kvie.org/viewfinder.